The great Jazz Vengeance, and I am here today to host you guys a little bit of a battle of the tough guys, as our first match is scheduled for, well, pinfall, submission, whatever. And it's going to, as you can see, our brackets. We got Mad Dog Vachon in the first rounds, and we got Mad Dog Vachon versus Rick Rude. We got Harley Race versus Bad News Brown. We got Bob Backlund versus Kurt Angle. And we got Dr. Death Steve Williams versus the Iron Sheik in the first few rounds. And we still have 6 more to go. So stick around. Let's go with the first one. Mad Dog Vachon, Rick Rude. Let's go. Schedule course for one fall, and there will be no entrances, as it'll just be action, folks. And let's get it on with the first match. Rick Rude versus the Mad Dog Vachon in the first preliminary. And of course, as you can see, there's no rules due to the fact that these are supposed to be the toughest guys ever, so they wouldn't really follow rules anyway, so what's the sense of giving them to them? Hopefully you guys have an enjoyable weekend, as it is Sunday. It's probably about that time, so it's probably Monday now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed your weekend. I hope to be, I was trying to get out in here earlier, folks, but, you know, complications and so forth. Alright, so this should be an epic confrontation, as the Mad Dog Vachon and ravishing Rick Rude, for the first time, to my knowledge, go at it one-on-one. Two guys who have a history of being two of the toughest guys in and out of the ring. And a lot of this comes from an article from WWE of the toughest guys in wrestling and the most dangerous guys in wrestling and the competitors. So a lot of the matches you'll see are from that. So we can figure out who is the toughest of the tough. So we're calling this the Battle of the Tough Guys. Nothing to do with that awful movie from the 80s. A nice super suplex by Rick Rude. Gets a 1 count. Goes to show the toughness of the Mad Dog. Father of Luna Vachon. You guys will know her. She was a staple of the 90s, always feuding between Miss Elizabeth and Sherry and Sable and several other women in the early days of women wrestling. Of course, Sunny, real life wife and girlfriend of the great Gangrel, who was a fantastic actor, a fantastic wrestler and talent. And I'm proud to say that I have had the opportunity to meet Gangrel, and I offered my condolences to him, as I felt that his wife was one of the greatest alive. And in our show, she still lives on, so there you go. So does he, and so does the Mad Dog Vachon, as we have no limits on our show. As the Mad Dog turns the tables on the ravishing one. Ooh. And a pile driver from the ravishing one. That'll hurt your neck. Uh-oh, he's measuring them too. This could be ugly, folks. Kick to the gut, and this could be the rude awakening, folks. That's what it is. Those guys who grew up in the 80s, you know what that's all about. There's the pin. Oh, Mad Dog gets a shoulder up. 2 count by the Putz referee. I call him a Putz because most referees are Putz. I don't mean Putskis either, because they're pretty tough. As ravishing one, adding insult to injury by stepping on the face rather, and now posing to the crowd, rather than staying on the Mad Dog, which might cost him later on, folks. That cocky and arrogant, oh, throws him to the outside. Again, folks, there are no rules here. As ravishing one takes it to the Mad Dog. Oh, and a suplex on the outside. I don't know how many people did that back in the Mad Dog's days, but the ravishing one is holding back no stops. if he wants to advance in this tournament. And remember, folks, there's 2 parts to this tournament, as you saw the first half. As we're going to bang through this half, and then the second half, and then have a winner at the end. And then we'll crown a champion of the tough guys, of course. Oh, wow, the Ravishing One, his face introduced to that steel post. Oh, and again. And the Mad Dog turns the tables, living up to that name. One of the most barbaric individuals in the ring. The Mad Dog had no mercy for his opponents. And the Ravishing One is finding that out the hard way. Oh, and drops them net back first across the canvas there. Not the canvas, on the floor there. Fans here really don't know what to think right now. As the Mad Dog now is posing for the fans, which is a rarity for him. And he rights them up, but rights and lefts. Ravishing One still on his feet, though, to his credit. And down is the Ravishing One to a knee, but he's still up. And now, oh my, down to a knee again. And the Ravishing One is refusing to go down. And he throws Mad Dog halfway across the other side of the arena. What a right to, and the shot to the gut. And now the Ravishing One introduced his face into the barricade. Oh boy. It didn't take long for things to get out of hand in the first round of this first match, folks. And as he introduced the Mad Dog's face into the post and again, giving him a dose of his own medicine, so to speak. Oh, and the Mad Dog puts the brakes on. Oh, and down goes Rude with a kick. And a shoulder block takes down Rude. Ooh, big uppercut. And another big uppercut. And Rick Rude uses that speed. Ooh, a right hand. Ooh, and sends him into the barricade again. Mad Dog now sends him into the ring. Uh-oh, what's he doing here? Goes to the high right to, ooh, and drops an elbow to the spine of the Ravishing One. And now goes for the pin. And that's going to do it, folks. And Mad Dog Vachon will move on to the next round. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? See some of these replays here. Here's the pin by Ravishing One to no avail. Here's a nice pile driver. This could have been it for any normal man, but not the Mad Dog. It seemed that every time he hit him with something, he got even more stronger, even more powerful, and he came back strong. Goes to show you the slow and steady wins the race. There's that elbow. This was going to put the end to Ravishing One right there. That was going to do it. That elbow right to the lower back that Ravishing One has a history with.
Here is your winner, Mad Dog Vachon.
All right, folks, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's your first win. And here's your first competitor. This is the first round, folks. All right, let's see what's next on the agenda. You're staying with us, folks, as it is a tournament, as we're getting ready for the next match in this tournament of tournaments. Let's see. We're going Harley Ray. Let's go down the bottom here. Let's go Dr. Death and the Iron Sheik, just for shits and giggles, huh, folks? Just to add some drama, I guess you'd say. And this here goes the next one. As you can see, folks, I said it's a demo. So this is one time where maybe tonight I won't have to do my little disclaimer half a dozen times so you guys understand that I have no control over the outcome of any of these matches. This one should be a real bomb burner right here, folks. As the Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and the Iron Sheik, two of the toughest and the craziest individuals in the wrestling business today. Sheiky baby trying to get a little step on the doctor. I remember growing up watching Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and World Class Championship Wrestling and other places, and I'd ask, hey, who is this guy? And I would be told by my uncles that he was a tough customer. Well, it turns out to be he was. In and out of the ring. As the Iron Sheik starts things off with a beautiful clothesline. You know, a lot of people don't really understand and don't know that the Iron Sheik is one of the first originators of that of the suplexes. So, if you guys in the wrestling business or you guys are fans of suplexes in the wrestling business today, you could thank the Iron Sheik for being the guy who kind of formatted those into the kind of the forum into wrestling today, as he was one of the first guys to really utilize a lot of suplexes in his arsenal. You guys don't know that about the Iron Sheik, now you do. Some fun trivia. Nice snap suplex by the Iron Sheik onto Steve Williams. To my knowledge, this is the first time these guys have met, but if not, you're going to get to see it again, and this so far has been pretty good. And the Iron Sheik is not getting any friends right now. Ooh. And Dr. Death turns things around with a right hand and a backhand chop. And the Sheiky baby is in trouble. Uh-oh. Dr. Death. Nice butterfly suplex on the guard, on the apron, on the ramp. Of course, we're here. This is our Dream Masters Classics, ladies and gentlemen, in which you will see only our real wrestling from actual wrestling people and the personality. Usually our show consists of a lot more colorful, I guess you'd say, atmosphere, but we are individuals who we like to mix it up. And we just started this Dream Masters Classics not long ago because you fans seem to like it. In fact, there's a lot of people in the wrestling business who like this show. And just a reminder, tomorrow we're going to be doing that show I keep promising you guys for the New England Fan Fest, where we're going to do those Fan Fest requests by people who were at Fan Fest just a month ago from last month. So that's why we're waiting till tomorrow, the 8th, which would be exactly a month from New England Fan Fest 7. That was a fantastic time, as I was at hand. So you know when I'm there, it's a party. So that's about it there. As Dr. Death is chopping the heck out of the Iron Sheik, and there goes the Sheik back in the ring, and they're both going toe-to-toe. Oh, my. Sheik. I don't know with a swinging neck breaker. Oh, and a snap nair. And Dr. Death is having problems right now. As the Iron Sheik. Uh-oh. And another backbreaker. Iron Sheik, former tag team champions with Nikolai Volkov as the Un-Americans. Also credited for defeating the great Bob Backlund for the championship, ending his legendary long title reign. I guess you'd say there would be some controversy involved with that match, as Backlund did not himself tap out to the devastating camel clutch. That it was his manager, I guess, Arnold Skoland, who threw in the towel for Bob Backlund, ending his title reign and awarding the Iron Sheik with the title. But not to worry, folks, unless you're like me and not a Hogan fan, because wouldn't it be that much longer after that Hulk Hogan would come into the company and defeat the Iron Sheik in Madison Square Garden, and the birth of Hulkamania would be starting. And there is the camel clutch right there, speaking of which. But Dr. Death gets out. How about that, folks? He knows. Everyone knows what it's like to be in that camel clutch. They know not to be in the camel clutch. Uh-oh, Dr. Death. There's the power slam. And the Sheik gets the shoulder up. And Dr. Death is not happy. Steve Williams is not a happy camper. Iron Sheik with a nice arm drag takedown. A lot of people also don't know that the Iron Sheik was actually part of the Olympic team in wrestling for Iran. Yep, that's true. The Iron Sheik was an Olympian. As Dr. Death with a nice back body drop, could care less about what Iron Sheik was doing before he was in the ring with him. As he wants to devastate and he wants to move forward in this battle of the tough guys. Uh-oh, Steve Williams now going for another power slam perhaps, and there it is. Is that going to do it? It is, and Dr. Death moves forward. Sorry, Iron Sheik. If you're watching, Sheiky baby, I have no control over it. As Dr. Death will move forward in this tournament. All right, folks, get ready as Harley Race and Bad News Brown will duke it out. And our next match scheduled for whatever happens, happens. With those two, you don't know what's going to happen. Could be a double count out for all we know. Then again, it's no rules, so there will not be no double count out. There will be no disqualifications because there is no rules. Here's your winner.
Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's the official word. All right. All right, folks. Getting ready to move on to the next person. Dr. Death's feeling it. He's excited. Here in Dream Masters Classics, as we're going to be crowning the king of the tough guys. As of right now, Dr. Death moving forward. Who's going to join him? Let's find out. We are not going to cut to commercial break, folks. As all I should, huh? All right, folks. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this one right here, and then we're going, you know what, we might as well just go through the first 4 rounds, right? So let's get it on. Harley Race, Bad News Brown, let's get it in. I was going to break it up, so I suppose if you're watching from our original broadcast, then you know that it was originally said that it was one-on-one between Bad Dog Vachon and Rick Rude, and now we're on Harley Race, Bad News Brown. We've already had Dr. Death Steve Williams and the Iron Sheik. So far, the Iron Sheik has been defeated by Dr. Death, which means Dr. Death is moving forward, as is Mad Dog Vachon. So I think what we'll do is, after this match, we'll stop things to update things a little bit, and then we'll go back to the action. As this one is getting ready to get underway, as King Harley Race, one of the another toughest guys alive, who we'll have the privilege of meeting, and Bad News Brown. Again, there's none of that fluffy walking to the ring thing, only for the main event, folks, on this show, as we want to bring you the action, not the suaveness. As Bad News Brown already on the attack of the King. And Harley Race having some problems with Bad News right off the top of it. Kick to the gut. Bad News Brown. A lot of people didn't understand that Bad News Brown was a bad dude to mess within the ring, but outside the ring he was just as tough. As Bad News takes it to Harley Race, nice short clothesline right there. Kicks him in the ribs. He's all over the tough man from Minnesota, meaning Harley Race. Harley Race, former AWA World Champion, NWA World Champion, WCW World Champion. I think the only place he wasn't a champion is WWE, but I could be wrong. He was the King, however, if that amounts to anything. Notable feuds with the likes of Jim Duggan. I mean, I know one of my favorite childhood memories is watching Harley Race and Jim Duggan duke it out all over the first ever Slammy Awards. That was my personal favorite moment anyway. As Bad News Brown puts a shot into the gut of the Harley Race. Seems like so far Bad News Brown has had an answer for everything Harley Race has done thus far. And there's a pin already. And Harley Race kicks out at 1 count. That's Pat Patterson. this. My son is trying to tell me that Harley Race is the first ever Intercontinental Champion. But we all know that was Pat Patterson. As Sean Awesome's 2 cents, ladies and gentlemen, is he's going to be back on the show tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. He's very excited about his return when we do our New England Fan Fest show in honor of our good friend Joe Bruin. As he has cleared off some of his time to spend time with Dream Masters, the show that he works with off and on behind the scenes as much as on it here and there. And this thing has already spilled out to the floor like any of the other ones. And I don't know if you want to be out there with Bad News Brown, but Harley Race turns things around with an elbow, then a clothesline that almost took the head off of Bad News Brown, almost knocked him out. Very well might have. Oh, Harley Race. Oh, my. Trying to rip that leg right out of the socket of the Bad News Brown. Uh-oh, and Bad News gets around there. Right hand by Race. Short clothesline. And a shot to the ribs and the kidney. And there goes Bad News throwing Harley Race in the ring. He wants to beat him in the ring. Good for him. Uh-oh, it's Bad News thinking. I thought it was going to go some aerial thing, which would be something completely out of the realm of the Bad News Brown. As he's measuring the King. Oh, there's that ghetto buster. That could be it right there, folks. It is. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? If you guys guessed that Harley Race was going to lose to Bad News Brown, or if you were to put your money on Harley Race thinking Bad News Brown didn't have a chance, then you would be a poor man right now, as never count out a tough guy. Bad News Brown has earned his stripes as a tough guy both in and out of the ring, as has Harley Race, although on this day, Bad News Brown is the prevailer in this event. Let's get the official word.
Here is your winner, Bad News Brown.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's your winner. He's not a happy campy, could care less. All right, folks, we're going to take a break right quick, and then we're going to update things, and we'll be right back with you. Stick around.